What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the channel. It is your boy Cheap Ludes back with part 4 of the tier list series. This time we're talking about primary position power forwards in NBA 2K21 My Team, and we're ranking not all of them, but a very large number of power forwards in this game mode. So let's get parameters out of the way. By the way, if you haven't checked out point guard, shooting guard, and small forward tier list, those I've released over the last few days, so definitely go check those out. I'll link the small forward tier list at the end, and they all kind of link back to each other. Or you can go check out the playlist, whatever you want to do. So, parameters. S tier, best cards in the game. Like I said, I try, if you watch my other ones, I've talked about this before. I try to do both gens and every single playstyle. Granted, this year in my team, there's not really that many differences in playstyle. Everyone kind of plays the same at this point, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. I mean, it's a reality that we live with. So I try to factor everything in when I rank these cards, whether that goes from like signatures, like jump shot, dribble move, etc., defensive animations, tendencies, stuff like that. But most cards are kind of cracked at this point, so it doesn't really matter. But I try my best. Realistically, from this point on, it's going to be really hard to differentiate A tier and S tier cards. Like, I try to do my best by putting the best cards period for every player and both gens on S tier, and then the cards that maybe are the best in one or one of the gens or for certain playstyles in A tier. So I do what I can. B tier, mid tier cards, they're incredibly usable guys. Granted, obviously you could upgrade using the A or S tier guys, but for some of the B tier guys, you might be best with those cards. Like, there's cards in B tier that I'm personally better with than cards in A tier, but I still recognize that they're B tier cards, But a lot of it is personal preference. I try to be as unbiased as possible, though. C tier, cards that are usable for certain things. It might be they're getting outdated. Maybe they're just not really that great. They have issues, and I will talk about them. D tier, definitely outdated cards or cards that have like very glaring issues that I'll talk about. F tier cards, like for the most part, maybe you can get away with using them for certain things occasionally, but they should not be in your top 10. Your main squad. Definitely not. Trash cards, I really don't see any value for these guys whatsoever. They don't bring your overall down. They don't really do anything, and I'll talk about why they're there when I get there. So, with that being stated, let's get underway. Kenyon Martin. He's outdated for sure, but I think C tier makes sense for him. He's still usable in certain capacities. I still like the card itself, so. Tom Chambers. I don't care if he's evo'd or not evo'd. That jump shot is horrendous. I mean, like, his mullet is sick, and I will say that. I just don't think even the hairstyle really saves him from going into trash tier. Like, it's just bad. Aaron Gordon, he has horrendous hot zones. Aaron Gordon, release on very quick, is pretty good, though. I will say that if his hot zones and overall stats were a little bit better, he would go up in B tier, but I think the top of C tier kind of makes sense for him. He's a very usable card. Like, if you're good with this card, then by all means use him. Not saying he's worse necessarily than the B tier guys, but for the whole of the player base, I think he might be. Poku. I would put him top of C tier as well. I know there's going to be a few people who want him in B tier, which I totally understand, but this card is horrendous at rebounding the ball, and I don't even understand what it is. Like, he does not want to rebound the ball at all. Like, I have issues with Bol too, but I have so many more issues with Poku. He's 7 feet. It's probably because he's 7 feet tall with a 7'3" wingspan. And, like, he should be able to rebound the ball, but for whatever reason, he doesn't. He also has Scottie Pippen release on very quick, which I like on Scottie Pippen, but for whatever reason, I don't really like it on Poku. He's a good card. And in all likelihood, I'll probably move him up to B. Personally, I would use him over Aaron Gordon and Kenyon Martin, so I'll put him in B for now, but I'm probably going to end up moving him down at some point. Diamond Andre Karelinko, I would put in D tier. He's still a D tier card. You should definitely upgrade at this point, but that's how good this card was when it came out, is it's still D tier in May. Antoine Jameson, I mean, low C tier would make sense for him. Like I said, I'm ranking all these cards in the tiers as well. So if there's a card that you really like in B tier, and he's the number 1 spot, he's not the same level as the guy all the way down here. But, needs to be specified. Anthony Davis, he's slow and cumbersome. He came out in, like, what, Season 2? Season 3? Season 2, I think. Yeah, he's just not that good anymore. Crochet, I would put Crochet in D tier, I think. That makes sense for him. I don't think he's necessarily a C tier card anymore. Rudy Larusso, as much as I like this card, like I probably use this card over Poku. Being completely serious, but Poku is 7 feet tall. I understand he's a better overall card. He can kind of curry slide around and stuff. So Billy Cunningham, top of D tier, I think. If he's badged out, C tier, but standard, probably D. Diamond Dennis Rodman. He plays legit defense, but that's it. I would put him, yeah, probably in trash tier. Big Blake. This Big Blake I'd put in F tier because he plays 0 defense whatsoever. Decent offensively, but yeah, he's missing some very noticeable badges. Bobby Jones. I'm definitely using Bobby Jones over Poku, for sure. No question. Better jump shot, lockdown defender. He rebounds better than Poku, and Bobby Jones is 6'8", and Poku is 7 foot tall. And for whatever reason, Bobby Jones snags significantly more rebounds. Bob Pettit. I don't like Bob Pettit at all. He plays like no defense, but he shoots better than these guys in trash tier, and he rebounds about the same. Defends about the same, so I'd probably put him there. Hopefully we get a new Bob Pettit pretty soon, maybe with like base 98. He'd be a beast. Boris Dio. I'm also using Boris Dio over Poku. Boris Dio is a monster. Like, he's so good. No question. Like, he's such a good card in this game. I don't think there's really any argument there. Scalabrini, right next to Crocier. You could argue which one is better. I think Crocier is better on current, and like Scalabrini is better on next, but they're about D tier cards at this point. Byron Beck. I don't think he's necessarily F tier. I would probably put him up here. He's like a worse Billy Cunningham, but I don't think worse Billy Cunningham deserves to be Bob Pettit, Blake Griffin. Like, he's definitely better than those guys. Melo's not great, but he's still like C tier. He's better than all the D tier guys. I would use him over Billy Cunningham and Karelinko. Zion. Yeah, I mean, Zion's still B tier. Yeah, he's probably overall better than Boris Dio, just because of Zion's release and his dunking ability is definitely better. Boris Dio, I think, is a little bit better of a rebounder and defender, but shooting-wise, they're pretty much a wash, and I think Zion is better at attacking the rim. So it really just depends what you value from your power forward as to which one of these guys is going to be superior. Boris Dio is a little bit taller. He's a little huskier player build. I prefer Bobby Jones over both these guys personally, but I mean, you could argue Zion ahead of Bobby Jones. I don't really think it matters though. Chris Bosh. Once again, I'm probably using Chris Bosh over Poku, but I'm probably using these 3 guys over Bosh. That's just a personal playstyle thing. Bosh is not bad at all, but he does miss a bunch of whites. That's about it. Chris Webber is terrible. I don't even know why they released this card at this point of the year. Like, he came out like what, last season? Whenever that Idol set came out. I think it was it Westbrook? I don't remember who it was. Yeah, I think it was Westbrook. But he has like 2 Hoff badges. He's so bad. Chuma Okeke. I really hope I'm saying that right. I mispronounce a lot of names. People get mad. Bridges last night. I was mispronouncing all night long. Chuma's a beast, though. I would put him in C tier. He's so good. I actually might use him over Kenyon Martin. I would use him over Kenyon Martin. Rudy Larusso is a personal favorite, so I probably wouldn't use him over that, but this card is nice. Gallinari. I'd put him by Andre Karelinko. He's like a better version of like Scalabrini and Crocier. I'd use him over Byron Beck for sure. Dan Issel. I mean, Dan Issel's better than these two, right? Danny Ferry. I don't think he's S tier. I really don't. I think A tier would be appropriate for Danny Ferry. For certain people, he's going to be S tier, but I think overall, he's probably A tier. He's definitely better than the guys in B tier, for sure. But I think there's a few guys that are better in S tier. Dave, like, clearly better, too. Dave DeBusschere. Yeah, he goes right by Byron Beck and Dan Issel. Lockdown defender, can shoot, lacks the shooting badges. If you badge these guys up, like, maybe they creep into C tier. I think if you badge DeBusschere and you badge Billy Cunningham, they creep to C tier. Rodman. I mean, yeah, where's the lockdown defender crew? Like, Rodman can shoot, it's just ugly. It's not good. I wouldn't put him in C tier. Derrick Jones Jr. I actually like this card a lot. He'll probably be at the bottom of C tier, but I would actually use Derrick Jones Jr. over all the guys in D tier. Like, no question. Draymond Green. Draymond is not as good as the cards in B tier, and for that reason I would probably put him in C for now, but he might move up. Same with Aaron Gordon, it just kind of depends. Karelinko, I would put Karelinko in B tier as well. I'd probably use him over Zion. He's just not as good as Danny Ferry overall. In my opinion, anyway. I like this card a lot. I really do. Like, I even like using him more than Danny Ferry. Sometimes he just moves a little bit better than Danny Ferry, but I recognize that Ferry is a superior card. I also recognize that Andre Karelinko is better than Bobby Jones from off the rip. Elton Brand is terrible. I would use him over Dennis Rodman and Chris Webber and Tom Chambers, though. That's for sure. George McGinnis, he's not that bad, actually. I'd put him in, like, D. I would use him over Rodman, still. I'd use Gallo over him, though. Giannis, I don't think he's quite C tier anymore. I would probably use all the guys in C tier over this Giannis at this point. This Giannis I'd probably use. Yeah, I mean, he might move up. I think he's the best card in D tier for sure, if he's not above. This kind of depends. Glenn Davis is still better than these two guys, but not by much. Glenn Robinson is a beast. I would use him over a lot of these guys. He's so good. That release, man, he rebounds well, he moves well, he dunks. God, this card is so good. Keem Warwick, I'd probably throw Keem Warwick in, like, C tier. I might not even use him over Chuma, but I'd put him right there. He's good. Jaden McDaniels, same thing. I'd throw him, like, right over here somewhere. He's good, but, yeah. If Giannis could get range and shoot a little bit better, I think he'd be higher. Like, this Giannis would probably be up in, like, B tier, and this one would be up in, like, C tier. It just kind of depends. Tatum, I would put him in B. I don't think this card's that great, but I think he is clearly better than the C tier guys. Jeff Green, if he, like I've said it every time I've ranked Jeff Green, if he has shooting badges, he's probably low end B tier, high C tier. If he doesn't, he's like worse Jaden McDaniels, basically. Chris Webber, I would throw him like really low C tier. He's definitely not good. He might even drop, honestly. Like, he was one of the first Galaxy Opals to come out, so it's not like his fault that he's bad. But I can't really deny that he's just not that good at this point. Like, what does he have, like 15 Hoff badges? It's not terrible. 94 shot 3. Kemba Walker on quick is not that bad. He's got good stats. Like, he was a little bit ahead of his time as far as like how good he was, but I think low end C tier makes sense for him. I do not like Jerry Lucas. He's like worse Bob Pettit, but he's the best card in trash tier. Tim Duncan. I don't think he's S tier, and that's because I don't like his jump shot that much. For everybody. Like, I don't mind it at all, and he was an excellent card when I had him, but I sold him for a reason, and I think his slow jump shot hurts him, and I don't think he's quite S tier because of that. Just like Danny Ferry that has an excellent release, but he's not quite as elite as some of the guys that we're going to have up here. So I would put him in A tier. I like Tim Duncan, though. Yee. Yee goes D tier. I would use him over Gallo. Yee's still fun to use. He just misses a lot of whites. Once again, maybe I'm overvaluing base 22, but Joe Smith is a beast. I would use him over Poku. For sure. Like, he's so good. This is one of the most underrated cards that we've gotten all year. He gets no love, but he's so good. This Aaron Gordon, he's probably not trash tier. Yeah, I'd put him at F. Like, he's not quite trash tier. Not good, though. Jonathan Isaac, B tier. Best card in B tier for sure as of right now, but I don't think he's quite as good as Tim Duncan and Danny Ferry overall. Depends how reliant you are on Curry sliding, I suppose. If you're super reliant on that, you're probably going to like him over Tim Duncan, but Tim Duncan is significantly better rebounder, defender. He's better at attacking the rim. He's better at everything except Curry sliding into threes. So that just kind of depends what you're really valuing. And that would depend exactly if you want Jonathan Isaac or if you want Tim Duncan, if that makes sense. If you want more of a traditional power forward, which is what I'm ranking, power forwards in general, like Tim Duncan's definitely superior, so is Danny Ferry. But depends how you play. Juan Herman Gomez, I mean D tier, I guess. He's good for lower overall cheesing. Big Blake, he's still so well-rounded of a power forward that I think he deserves to be up here. I don't know. I can't really say for certain if he's better than Danny Ferry. It's another one of those Jonathan Isaac things. Like, what do you like your power forward to do? If you want to be Curry sliding around and create your own shot, you're going to like Danny Ferry or Jonathan Isaac. If you want to use him more of as like a 3-and-D cone, somebody who rebounds the ball at a high clip, can attack the basket and shoots a nice three, like Blake Griffin is perfect for you. So it just kind of depends. Julius Randle, I mean, he's not good, so I put him like top of F tier. Keldon Johnson. He's small, but he's really good. He goes in that like Jeff Green, Jaden McDaniels area. I like him over Keem Warwick. I'll put him like right here. He's good. I just wish he was like 2-3 inches taller. Kenny Walker. This card was nice for a free card. Like, no joke. He's not as good as that point guard Zion we got earlier, but like I'd put him around like Melo, Chris Webber area. Like, he's good. I'd use him over Jameson, I think. Kenyon Martin, yeah. I'd use him over those guys. If Kermit is badged up with shooting badges, he's probably low B tier. If he's not, he's like over here somewhere in like higher C tier. He's a great card, but he needs the badges. Kevin Durant. I don't like this card as far as... I mean, he's KD. Like, you know what you're getting. It is what it is. Garnett. Where's Chris Bosh? Yeah, like right here. Defensive monster. His shot's not bad at all. But he's not everyone's cup of tea. I do understand that. But for a card to be that good defensively, he can play the center position really well. He's a good shooter. He actually moves pretty well, too. One of the best defenders in the game. I would probably put him around B tier. Invincible KG is S tier, though. He's basically like Tim Duncan, but he's a little bit faster. He moves a little bit better. He has a better jump shot. That's really all I got to say. They're both stats, badges, and tendency out to the maximum they possibly can be at this point. So you really just got to, once it comes to invincible cards, you just got to go on player build and jump shot. And I think KG has a little bit better of a player build. He moves a little bit better, and I just think that his jump shot's a little better. That's it. I would put him in S tier, though. He's as complete as they come in this game. Fully evoed Kyle Anderson. Yeah, by Karolinko somewhere. Still good. Kuzma. Yeah, Kuzma's good. Like, I would throw him over here somewhere. I like Kuzma a lot. He's a beast, man. Diamond Zion. In the land of, like, forgotten cards. Like, outdated guys. That's not really his fault, though. My throat is killing me. It's my allergies, man. Lamar Odom. We really need a new Lamar Odom card, but until we get one, this is about where he goes. I mean, he's not worse than Rudy Larusso. No, he's not. LaMelo. I would put LaMelo in here, too. He's just a little bit small. He's good, though. He's great as, like, a point forward, but if you're not looking for that, you're not going to like him. He's not going to be helpful for you at all. Pink Diamond Larry Legend. Put him, like, over here in the land of outdated cards in, like, D tier. I'd put him ahead of Dennis Rodman, though. Opal Larry Bird. Probably, like, the top of C tier. I think all the B tier guys are better than him, but he's still good enough to be in C tier, I think. Larry... Alright, this is a controversial one, too. I honestly believe Larry Johnson is an A tier card. I'm not kidding. I really do believe this card is an A-tier card. He's a little bit small, but he is elite at everything. Like, I know someone's pissed because I put Jonathan Isaac in B-tier and Larry Johnson above him, but, like, dude has literally above a 90 in every single stat. An elite jump shot, like, 6'7". I know it's a little small, but at the small forward, he is a monster. And I think overall, he's better than Jonathan Isaac. Jonathan Isaac has a better player build. His jump shot is not better, for sure. And obviously, he's better mainly just because of his player build, but Larry Johnson's better at everything else. That's just my opinion, though. Larry Nance, it's not his fault. He's just not very good. LeBron, he still can't shoot from the corners on current gen, and I know that does hurt him a little bit. I'd still probably put him at, like, B tier, like the bottom of it. He might even drop to C tier with, like, Aaron Gordon and Larry Bird, but right now, he's better than everyone in C tier. Mo Spates, I enjoy Mo Spates a lot, but yeah. Mo Lucas is such a good defender that I would put him in, like, F tier. I'll move Thon down. I don't know what to do with him right now. Maxi Kleber, I'd put him, like, towards the top of D tier. He's just a little sluggish, but he's not bad. This Big Blake, if he's fully badged out, maybe he touches C tier, but I'd put him in, like, the land of discarded greats down here in D. Michael Kidd-Gilchrist, great defender, great at attacking the rim, cannot shoot. He's glitched, and they wouldn't even let him shoot. If they would have made him able to shoot, even with a terrible jump shot, I'd put him in C tier, but they decided not to do that for whatever reason. I don't know what Michael Kidd-Gilchrist did to 2K to deserve that disrespect in May, but whatever. Miles Bridges, he's a little bit small, but I think he is legitimately like B tier. He's really good. Like, no joke, he's incredibly good. Even though he's small, everything else is elite. Obi Toppin, upper C tier. Like, I would say upper C tier somewhere. He's really good. I think he's the best card in C tier right now overall. OG's really good as well. I'd use him over Draymond. I'd put him like in between Draymond and LaMelo. Like, that's kind of where I would put him, or like ahead of them. Paul George. I would throw Paul George in B tier. Like, these three guys are definitely outdated, and they will be in C tier probably by next list. But right now, I think they're just a little too good to be in C tier. Paul Millsap is a beast as well. He's still good. He does need a few badges, but right out of the box, he's really good. So I'd put him in B. Rashard Lewis, since they updated his dribble sigs, is a monster. He was good before, but he's definitely a monster since they upgraded him or updated him, whatever you want to say. He's still really good. I'd put him B. He's usable. Right by like Bobby Jones and like Boris Dio. Like, very good cards. Dumas, I think Dumas is just shy of being in B tier. Still good, but C makes sense for him. Covington, I mean, he's a good defender, but he does lack a lot of badges, so I'd put him in like F. This Covington, on the other hand, I'd put him in B tier. This Covington is a beast. Right by Miles Bridges. That makes a lot of sense for him. He's a lockdown defender. He's just that little bit small. That's it. Other than that, he's got everything. So good. Great defensive animations, by the way. Rondé Hollis Jefferson. I don't think he's quite C tier. I'd put him like D. I'd probably use him over a lot of these D tier cards, though. But I think I'd still rather use Derrick Jones Jr. over Rondé because he's only 6'6". So, hey, Rudy. Where's Kuzma? Yeah, Rudy's a beast. As weeks go by, I like this card more and more and more. It's the same thing that happened with, I think it was the Pink Diamond Leap Year card last year. Like, I just started liking it more and more as time goes by, and yeah, that's happening again. Rudy's a beast. I've said like 95 people are beasts this time, but my throat hurts, man. I'm tired. Give me a break. Sean Kemp. I would put Sean Kemp pretty high up here. I don't really like his jump shot, and I'm still mad that they didn't give him very quick. They gave him quick for some reason, so his like jumper's kind of slow. But he's still good, though. He's still really good. He'll probably have a dynamic duo with Gary Payton come Friday. I don't know how much it's going to do, though. They're basically like 90 plus and everything anyway, so it doesn't really matter. But, you know, expect that. I personally don't think he's better than like Rudy or Kyle Kuzma, though. But you can make the argument. Tomanovic, yeah, I mean, D tier. I think he's better than Blake Griffin. Not badged out. Blake's badged out, he's better, but he's better than MKG, I think. MKG, where are you going? You're going over by, like, Rodman area. Yeah. Rui Hachimura, he's tough to rank, man, because I think that intangibles-wise, like, Durant, LeBron, and Paul George are still arguably better, but I would put him in B because he's just not... He's just a little bit better than all the C tier guys, so I don't know if I can put him down there. I personally think he's like the worst card in B tier right now, though. Sadiq Bey, where's Miles Bridges and Robert Covington? He's the apex version of those two guys. He's so good. His release is nasty too. He's got that Eddie Jones release, so good. Sekou, he's a better version of Robert Covington, so I put him in like D. Serge Ibaka, F. Battier, I'd put him in like C by like OG Anunoby and like Draymond. He's more of a 3 and D guy, but he's still good. This Sean Kemp, yeah, he's not that good. I would put him over here. He's definitely... Is he better than George McGinnis? Yeah, he's better than George McGinnis. I'll put him right there. Sidney Wicks, if he's badged up, he's probably higher in C, but regardless, he's probably in C tier somewhere. He's... Player build alone he's a beast. And he's like, got a good jump shot and stuff too, so. Terry Cummings is terrible. Thaddeus Young, I would put him up here as well. I would probably use him like alongside... he might even be the best card in D tier in my opinion. Tatum. Alright, look, I'll start by saying I don't like Tatum that much, right? I really do not like Tatum that much. But I can't say he's worse than Larry Johnson. I really can't. Like, I can't say he's worse than Larry Johnson. It depends how you feel about base 107 and if you're on current or next gen. If you're on next gen, Larry Johnson is superior. If you're on current gen, Jason Tatum is superior. It just kind of depends. Just because Larry Johnson has like gold blinders and stuff like that, so he's going to be a pain in the ass on current gen because he'll miss like a decent amount of whites. I really generally do think these two cards are better than Jonathan Isaac though, and Andre Karelinko. I really do. Overall, they are. Thurl Bailey, yeah, getting D tier. Tobias Harris, yeah, D tier. Kukoc, upper B tier. He's still a beast. I think Glenn Robinson might actually be better than him though. Yeah, maybe not. Xavier McDaniels, he's actually really good. I put him by like Bobby Jones. He reminds me of Bobby Jones. Put him like right there. And then Thon Maker, I think is S tier. No question about that. So I really don't think any of the A tier guys really should be moving up to S tier. I think Kevin Garnett and Thon Maker are clearly the two best power forwards out of all the cards that I've listed today. And I think the 5 guys in A tier make sense. I've given reasons as to why I think they belong there. There are guys in B tier that you might do better with, so you might think they deserve to be in A tier and vice versa. But hey, man, it is a tier list, all right? You don't need to get too upset. I promise it's okay. But let me know down in the comments what you guys think. Hopefully I did a good job. Like I said, I tried to use every single card, and I tried to rate them appropriately without bias. So let me know how I did. As always, it's been your boy Cheap Ludes. I'll be back with the center tier list tomorrow, as well as some other content as well. And yeah, check out the rest of my tier list if you got time. Check out the description for all my stuff, and I'll be back. Peace.